the really special part of this ceremony is the presentation of certificates to each of our continuing students, and so that is where we are now in our program, okay?
Bill Huggins.
Okay, well, I would like to start this by just with this speech thing. So, to me, my time at Logan is kind of like the speech I wrote this morning. I'm talking about it right now, and in a little while it will be over. There are a few people who deserve a special recognition, though. First of all, there are my core teachers, Jamie, Pam, Ellen, Patty, and Linda. They are the ones that I feel most sorry for. Next on my list are my buddies, big and little, Cassie, Max, Jake, Drew, Eric, and Keenan. I think I'd also like to thank the math and science teachers, Eric and Joel, but they've inflicted so much pain on me over the years that I don't think I will. I would also like to thank every single person I've had the pleasure of meeting at Logan, by name, but I had a strong fear of an angry mob dragging me off the stage. The people that most deserve thanks for making me into what I am today are my family. They have put up with so much, and still they continue to support me in whatever I choose to do. I should also thank one of my favorite family members, my cat. Okay. And then there's one more group of people who deserve thanks for putting up with me over the last 6 years. These people are the staff that works at Logan, including all the assistants I've ever had, all of the Matrix teachers, Len and Charlie Jackson, and Marty. I would like to close with this inspirational quote about ambition. Ambition is like a frog sitting on a Venus flytrap. The flytrap can bite and bite, but it won't bother the frog because it only has little tiny plant teeth. But then some other stuff could happen, and it could be like ambition.
Natasha Stein. My words are getting crazy.
It was Parent Appreciation Night at Slavens Elementary School. I was in second grade the year before I came to Logan. We had to prepare a sentence about why we appreciated our parents. I said, I appreciate my parents because they let me do whatever I want to do. What I meant was they always supported the things in life I wanted to do, like learning to play the piano and playing soccer. Then my parents spent the whole summer trying to explain that, in fact, I was not allowed to do whatever I want. I always wondered if that's why they pulled me out of Slavens. And now, 6 years later, I have to write and now read another speech here at Continuation. And guess what? I don't really want to. After doing 1 million poems for poetry group, writing countless painful hours in a field journal, sometimes in pouring rain and icy blizzards, till my lips turned blue and my hands no longer had the strength to hold a pencil. And I can't even begin to tell you how many unit reports I've done, not to mention portfolio letters, short stories, book responses, math assignments, excuse letters, note cards full of information, drawing, paintings, internet searches, and also taking notes till my brain almost exploded. I've done an incredible amount of work and learned so much here about almost everything. And best of all, I've learned how to express myself in my own way. And after doing all that, I realized I don't want to write a boring traditional speech, and I don't have to. I can do it the way I want. So in conclusion, thank you, Logan, for letting me do whatever I want to.
Maddie Roosh.
Okay. My time at Logan began and ended with Patty. Every teacher I've ever had will tell you that Patty and I have had a lot of bonding time. This could be good or bad, depending on how you look at it. Every teacher at this school has made me realize something important about myself. Yes, even Mr. George. I would like to thank all of you. Nancy, thank you for helping me start out on the right foot. Susie, thank you for helping me stretch my wings. Donna, you have helped me so much there are no words for it. Mr. George, thank you for teaching me about accepting people. Jamie, thanks for helping me find myself. And Patty, well, just thank you. You've been a fabulous support all along the way. Everyone at Logan has been so good to me. Susie, I've been on countless trips with you, and they have all been one of the most special experiences of my life. The Tole Moore, well, I don't think I will ever enjoy anything more in my entire life. Susie, you are so important to all of us. My math teachers, it's been special. Thanks. To all my matrix teachers, especially David and Michelle, you have made everything out of the ordinary. To my family and friends, if you had not been there, I would have died. And especially thanks to my mom. Thanks for never leaving me alone. And last but not least, thanks to my buddies, Caitlin, Emma, Amy, and Elizabeth. You have all been the better little buddies than I'm sure I ever was. Thanks. If I forgot anyone, I'm sorry. And everyone who's been there for me, thanks. To end, I would like to quote an anonymous 5-year-old. When I grow up, I either want to be a heart surgeon or Elmo. Thank you, Logan, for giving me the tools to do either.
Kelsey Gordon.
Take that, take my hand.
Okay, before I start, I just want to tell all those people who are writing continuation speeches to never roll them up because they look like this and it's really annoying. Just so y'all know. Okay. And this is also what happens. Okay. Continuation. Such a sight to be had. Everyone up here are dressed really fancy. Good food, a big audience, the works. How many continuations have you guys all been to? 1, 7, 25, or is it your first? They're all the same. All this event each year where everyone clumps together to listen to us. And listen, and listen, and listen, until you're so bored of hearing monotone voices speechitizing that the whole event turns into a blur, and you don't even listen anymore. It's too bad. Today, I stand in front of this tiny podium, speaking out to this not-so-tiny crowd, at my continuation, hoping you will listen. I guess I'm supposed to jabber about life at Logan, say how great it's been, and then thank everybody like I've just won an Oscar or something. But the truth is, I don't want to. The one great thing Logan has brought me over the last 5 years are 2 great teachers, and those I think are Donna and Justine. But otherwise, Logan has just been my school, the place where I spent most of my life for the last 5 years working on projects. Today, I've gone all the way up here. I've dressed myself up even fancier than I did when I pretended to be princesses so many years ago. And I think I've said all that's needed. 5 years of Logan were great, but it's over now. Goodbye. Wait. Just before I go, I wanted to mention all my buddies who managed to deal with me for 1 or 2 years. They would be Allie, Maddie, Emma, and Rachel. So anyway, have fun at Logan, guys. Bye.
Katrina Sonderman.
Wow. For years I sat out there on the floor and in those bleachers and watched speech after speech. Every time I'd go home and write my own. And in every one, I started out by saying, wow. Logan has been a second home to me for 9 very full years. One day I was walking into Logan, a cute, so I'm told, nervous little kindergartner. And now suddenly, I'm standing up here saying goodbye. My time here has been completely unique. It has been completely mine. That's Logan. Each student gets to choose their own path. I think of my time at Logan as a kaleidoscope. When you use a kaleidoscope, what you see inside changes depending on the way you turn it and the light you point it towards. With each turn, the pattern in the kaleidoscope changes. The objects inside shift a little bit. It's been the same with my learning. It has been in my own hands. With each new unit I studied, the pattern changed. With each opportunity I took, the pattern changed. With each new friend, it changed again. And the result of 9 years of turning the kaleidoscope is what is standing in front of you right now, me. There are so many people that influenced my time here, and they've all made me a better person. And for that, I am so grateful. There are too many to name, but here's my best shot. Thank you to Linda for always being so cheerful and for always having some chocolate for me on a bad day. Thank you to all the Matrix teachers I've had over the years, especially Michelle, who helped me discover my love of art. Thank you to Susie Steele for the neat places we went and for always being so calm no matter the situation. Like when we were all lined up at some remote doctor's office in Costa Rica to get a shot in our, shall we say, our backside. Thanks to Eric and Joel for trying to make me understand math. You may not have been very successful, but you never stopped trying. And Joel, thanks for putting up with all my random questions. I loved all the conversations we had throughout the year, most of them having nothing to do with math. And to my little buddies, Layla, Hannah, Annie, Jeremy, Emily, and Kyla, you all taught me so much about topics I never would have studied on my own. And of course, my big buddies, Sarah Blum-Barnett, Lily Muldoon, Eric Elenoff, and Jody Littman. Sarah, it's hard to believe you were the same age when you were my big buddy as I am now. You seem so much older and more mature than I feel. Thank you to all of my teachers, Annie, Sandy, Susie, Angela, Ellen, and Linda. You all gave something completely unique to my time at Logan, and all played a huge role in making me who I am. Thank you for all the things you taught me and all the opportunities you gave me. I've been very lucky. And Angela, thanks for making the trip here today. You remain a role model in my life. And of course, thank you to David. Words can't explain everything you've given me. You are fun, supportive, loving, talented, and just an overall wonderful person. I know I may never again get to have a director as remarkable as you, or one that can teach me to wield a knife as well as you did. And thank you to my parents. You may drive me absolutely crazy at times, but I love you both so much. Thanks for always supporting me, and thank you for everything you put into Logan. You helped make it what it is today. Thank you for a million things, but mostly, thanks for just being my parents. And to my brother, Clark, you make life interesting. Sometimes too interesting. Now you get to be the big kid at Logan out of our family, and I love you. And lastly, thank you to my friends. It may possibly be you guys that affected me the most. As trite as it may sound, I have absolutely no idea what I'd do without you being there to laugh and cry with me. You taught me that laughter truly is the best medicine. We've shared so many fun and hard times together, which has brought us closer. I love you guys. I'm sure I forgot a ton of people, but thank you to each and every person who helped make my years here incredible. Now it's time to say goodbye. But as I do, I know, because Logan has taught me, that the kaleidoscope is always in my hands. Thank you.
Allie Bilgrow.
I have sat through 7 long and usually boring continuations, and now here I am, standing up here and giving some boring and unremarkable speech. Well, I hope to change that. I realized when I started writing this I had no idea what to say. I still don't. I got to about here and was horribly and utterly stuck, so I apologize if the rest of the speech doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess I'll start with the inevitable, the thank yous. I'd like to thank my parents, my dogs, my many teachers, Sandy, Lisa, Susie, Angela, Mr. George/Donna, Jamie, Patty, and Patty. My buddies, Meredith, Kyla, Jacqueline, and Bronwyn, Eric for answering the many ponderous questions I posed in math, my many matrix teachers, and last, the definitely not least, my friend, for whom without I would have gone insane long before now. With that over, I will now continue on with the rest of my speech. Many years have passed, but they are now gone. I have learned a lot and am ready to move on. My friends we split and move apart, and we will miss each other from the bottom of our hearts. Good and bad times we have all shared and spoke of them whenever we dared. I will miss the freedom and I will miss the fun, especially when you can revenge someone. I told myself on Monday night that when I wrote my speech, I would do it right. By right, I meant I wouldn't wait until 2 seconds before it was considered late. Of course, the procrastinator took hold, and I didn't do what I was told. In the end, I got it done just before the rising of the sun. And now comes a list of what I've been through, but don't think that it is all that you do. 8 years of being taught and 8 years of knowledge sought, 7 years of sore butts and 7 years of tasty donuts, 6 matrices to attend and 5 days that never end, 4 days of fighting and 3 pages of writing, only 2 more days and only 1 more phrase. So goodbye, Logan, and all those who attend, but my words are numbered. This is the end.
Torrin Schuster.
Well, for me, it all started about 3.5 years ago when I shouted at Logan. I saw kids who didn't sit at desks, who were involved in all sorts of different projects, and who didn't get grades for the work they did. I thought, this could be fun. Then I got the letter that said I was in. A school with no grades and the freedom to leave class at almost any time. Of course I accepted. After a few weeks at Logan, I realized that kids stayed in their classes and were learning because they were interested. It wasn't because of the strict teachers and lots of rules. Sure, there were punishments if you didn't do your work, but because I was learning about topics I chose, such as cloning, carnivorous plants, space, roller coaster physics, hypnotism, and architecture, I found I actually wanted to learn, for the most part. Sure, there were times when I wanted to burn my agenda or bite my teacher's ears off, a slightly modified phrase used by a Logan teacher, but overall, the teachers were awesome, and I'd like to thank them for a great 3 years. Also, I'd like to thank my classmates and friends for being there for me. I'd like to thank my parents and family for providing me with both moral and physical support over the years, and of course for paying my tuition at Logan. I know you care a lot about me and my education. Lastly, as I studied into one of my units, I'd like to thank the entire human gene pool which preceded me, as the DNA combinations resulting from our earliest ancestors may have expressed themselves ultimately in my creation. Thank you.
Charlie Cohen.
Hi. I would like to start out by thanking some people. Nancy Babbitt, I know she's over there somewhere, I saw her earlier. Oh, there you are. For starting me off on my terrific Logan career here at Logan, obviously. My math teacher, Joel Sadler, for being a great algebra teacher, and the only teacher I've ever met, and probably ever will, that when he gets angry just gets really sarcastic. Ted. Ted, you're a really cool guy. And anyone that shovels outside for an hour at 8 o'clock in shorts and a t-shirt in February while it's snowing just deserves admiration. Donna Chilcote. She isn't here now. She's out of town or something. She told me, but I wasn't really paying attention. She was probably the teacher that taught me the most here at Logan, even though I only had her for half a year during that whole George, Donna, Joel, Jemay, I don't even know what happened to Angela years, I like to call it. The other people I'd like to thank are Delinda Rose, Sarah Caller, Kelly Lutz, Lisa Lucero, and my parents. You may think that looking back over my Logan career, it went by like that. Well, it didn't. It took 9 years. Which, if you haven't been alive for the last 9 years, you know it's a really long time. And for you kids up here who are planning on staying your full 9 years, know that it doesn't go by like that. It takes a long time. But it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. I know that I give this school a hard time, but it truly is a good school, and I'm glad that I can call it mine. I have a story. Are you busy? I'll tell you the whole thing. It was back 5 years ago when I was in Susie's class, and she was talking about either these volcanoes or earthquakes or floods in either Turkey or Afghanistan or New Hampshire or some other country like that. And at the time, I was young, and the CIA and Congress were all the same to me. And she said to the class, she said, the U.S. is sending people over there to help. Do you know who those people are? So, stupidly, I raised my hand, and she called on me. She said, who do you think are helping them, Charlie? I said, the IRS. She said, the IRS, they collect taxes. What did you think they did? And I had no idea, so without missing a beat, I said as follows: International Rescue Squad. I would like to close now with a poem that I wrote. It goes as follows. Roses are red, violets are blue. I've been at Logan for the last 9 years. It's time to continue. Thank you.
Ellsbaum.
Fact. Until last year, I never thought I would be up here giving this speech to you. It still seems unreal, yet I know it must be true. After all, I am standing here. I am giving this speech to you, and unless reality itself is all a sham, the possibility of which I won't get into, that means that this is really happening to me. Also a fact. Until last year, I really didn't pay attention to the continuation speeches. It was just another one of those school things that happened every year, and while I could have been really taking in the words of continuing students, I was instead counting down the hours until school was out. But last year, I saw my friends continuing, and for once I listened to what they had to say. I heard stories of particularly memorable moments, stories about best friends, stories of challenges that always concluded with happy endings. I, myself, knew some of these stories, just as I knew these people personally. I had spent an entire year in their company, though it seemed longer then and much, much shorter now. They taught me how to be an AS student and how to look beyond Logan, and though I missed all of my friends who had continued, I found myself becoming more and more like them as this year went on. At first, I was just excited to leave Logan. I toured the high schools, weighted the pros and cons of each one, and finally decided on a place to spend the next 4 years of my life. After that was done with, I found myself with nothing high school preparatory to do, so I waited. And as I waited, I remembered. I remembered my first year in Susie's class. I was apprehensive about switching to a new school. All I had known for school was public schooling, and that really hadn't worked. But I quickly found out that Logan was different. I made friends much more easily than I had ever dreamed I could, and I began the process of learning who I was and who I could be. Next came Donna's class, then Ellen's, then Jamie's. I remember the class trip in Ellen's class when a freak snowstorm struck and we stayed in a hotel instead of camping, and rafting in Jamie's class, where the water was so low we all had to push the rafts at some parts. Patty's class taught me how to do all of my schoolwork and still have time for fun. I remember the Tollymore, where we swam with sea lions and got attacked by seaweed while boogie boarding, and the Boston trip, where we saw things that I never thought I'd see on a Logan trip, right outside of our hostel window. I remembered all of the great experiences that I had with all my friends at Logan, and found myself not quite as willing to let go as I had previously thought. By the time I figured that out, of course, it was only a couple of weeks until the end of school year, and all of the end of the year things were happening already. I thought to myself, I'm not ready for this. But I was ready, and I am ready. I would like to thank everyone who made my being ready possible. First, my core teachers Susie, Donna, Ellen, Jamie, and Patty, who taught me what Logan was all about, along with my history, language arts, etc., that I wouldn't have gotten elsewhere. Thank you to Joel and Eric for teaching me math and not letting my arguing back bother you. Thank you to my matrix teachers and assistant teachers, who are too numerous to name individually, but are no less important than any of my other teachers. You have taught me about life as I know it, along with other important skills, such as how to draw. Thank you to Kelly and Len for teaching me about French and Latin, respectively. I would also like to thank Len and Charlie for teaching me about the tech side of the play and being so patient with me when I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to use a drill. To all of the members of my family, thank you for all the love and support you have given me over the years, and thank you, also, for the homework help you all have given me. Also, a special thank you goes to my little buddy of 3 years, Lillian, who has become to me the little sister that I never had. Thanks, Lily. And to my classmates, for all the years I've been in Logan, where would I be without you? You have been with me through it all. We've braved the hardest assignments and joked about them after they were done. I honestly can't imagine going to a school where none of you are, and thank you for that. It's nice to have such great friends. I've come to the part of my speech where I contemplate the future and meditate aloud on what the future may hold. But I look into the future and can't see a thing, because, to be honest, I don't have a clue what the future holds. It holds good friends, classes, and challenges, I'm sure. But beyond that, who knows? But not knowing isn't freaking me out. I have accepted not knowing as a fact, and am very happy to just say to life, surprise me. After all, in the words of the legendary outlaw Vash the Stampede, your ticket to the future is always blank. Thank you. I knew I'd forget it.
Caitlin Bell.
Well, I'm finally here, and there are multiple people I want to thank for keeping me on the right track and helping me grow as a student and a person. First, there are my parents and my sister. Everyone at home has helped me in some way, even if it was just a simple hug after a hard day. You've always been incredibly supportive of my learning here, and your constant caring is something that I know is hard to come by. Then, there are all of the teachers that taught me something new every day. Joel, even though I found all of your passionately taught conjectures and formula derivations surprisingly dull, at least I'll remember them. David, since kindergarten, you've made acting one of my favorite things to do. And Lisa, I'll forever know that sharing and kindness can take you farther than anything else. Then I'd like to thank my buddies that I've had in the past: Alicia, Esteban, Jade, Katie, Elizabeth, and Alex. Each one of you proved that patience is a vital virtue. Next, I think it's very important to mention Carpool. Michael Eisel, your fabulous soundtrack that you enjoyed playing of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer has touched me deeper than you'll ever know. Lastly, but in my opinion most important, there are friends. You're the people that made the school day fun and filled with laughs. I won't be able to ever forget all of the different people I've met and grown to love here. You made coming to yet another school day well worth it, because you made me smile. Thank you.
Katie Post.
These past 3 years at Logan have been an amazing experience. I may have been here a third of the time some of my friends have, but since the first day in Jamie's class, I have loved all the opportunities Logan has offered me. And now, just when I realize that there are worse things than riding in a school bus with fuzzy seatbelts and the Logan School for Creative Learning stenciled on the side, it's time to say goodbye. And so, goodbye to all the familiar, friendly faces that greet me in the hall. You have made me feel welcome, which is one of the greatest feelings. Farewell to my teachers, Jamie, Megan, Linda, and Sarah. I can't credit you enough for all the amazing things you've helped me learn. I have loved choosing my studies, and I'll admit it was a good thing that you were there to help me not take up too much. I have grown and learned so much at this school, and I will always value what each of you have taught me. Sia, Zachary, Kyla, and Emily, you guys have been great buddies. Cheerio, David. From the volumes of Horace, Virgil, Terence, and Catullus to depressed Alaskan caribou, you are always there teaching me with a smile. Bye-bye, Michelle. Trust me, if I could have painted my continuation speech instead of speaking it, I would have. I appreciate all the tips you have given me over the years. Adieu, Lynn. I appreciate you having so many random discussions accompanied with chocolate. I guess we did do a little yearbook now and then. Au revoir, Kelly. Remercie pour être un grand ami et un grand professeur. Vous toujours faites me rire. I have no idea if I pronounced that right. Ta-ta, Eric. I really appreciate you persisting in your attempts to teach me math. So long, Joel, Lynette, and Susie. You guys have opened a whole new world for me and have invited me to go on so many fabulous trips. And to my friends, I'll see you guys around. But I will never forget evaluating stress levels in math, garden veggie cream cheese, skipping down the halls singing Amazing Grace, or screaming out happy birthday to some poor innocent child in the lunchroom. For those of you who missed our musical talent, be glad you did. Here's to inside jokes and pink frosted sugar cookies. Mom, Dad, Nathan, and Andy, we aren't saying goodbye yet. But thanks for sticking by me through all these long projects and really long, drawn-out decisions that I had to make this year. I know you guys didn't really have a choice, but it means a lot to me that you tried to understand what's going on in my head. Congratulations, you might be doing it better than I am. Sayonara to all the people who have been politely listening to my speech and giving the occasional I will treasure the fantastic memories that Logan has given me forever. As Shakespeare so wisely said, parting is such sweet sorrow.
All right. Risa Katz. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, can you hear me? Very good. Okay. Hello and welcome to Continuation. I would like to start off by thanking all of my buddies, Beth Dickinson, Meredith Crandall, Sarah DeGroat, Andrea Dreskin, Allegra Uva, Rachel Martin, Max Bessison, Alistair Lang, and Austin Jones. Secondly, I would like to present a tribute to my 9 years here at Logan. I present to you, I am the very model of a modern Logan graduate, inspired by Gilbert and Sullivan. I know I don't sing very well, so bear with me. I am the very model of a modern Logan graduate. I've grown so much and come so far from Lisa's class to Patty's class. In short of matters I will learn in high school or will never get, I am the very model of a modern Logan graduate. I'm very well acquainted, too, with matters mathematical. Thanks to Joel, I think I get equations, though quadratical. About binomial multiplication, I'm packed with lots of news, with many murderous thoughts about the square of the hypotenuse. I learned my grammar and my spelling, thanks to a whole bunch of books. And now I'm done with that, and with it done with teachers' dirty looks. I'll always love my buddies, whom I love to help just oh so much. And though Daybook isn't evil, it always will be known as such. To the Tullymore and Boston, Mass, I went upon extended trips. Also South Dakota, Utah, Taos, and others made me flip. Had heart attacks from yearbook week and being on the yearbook staff. But in the end, I sure had fun, and matrices helped me to laugh. Thanks to Logan, I'm ready to go face the world with heart. And I will always know that I must finish anything I start. And sometime when I fight Patty, I'll put my hand upon my hips. But in the end, I was happy and had a grin upon my lips. I'd like to thank the drama group, and David, Charlie, and then Len, for helping me to grow in plays. They all have surely got a 10. My matrix teachers, all of them, for what they have all taught to me, and Delinda for always knowing just how to fix a scraped knee. I'd also like to thank my friends, of course you all know who you are, my buddies and my teachers, you have helped me grow and reach for stars. I'd like to thank my mother, father, and of course my sister too. You all have helped to cheer me up whenever I am feeling blue. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, I must have forgot. Or maybe I just couldn't rhyme. In any case, thanks a whole lot.
You all should know that I thank you for what you have all given me. I know most of what I will need, except for trigonometry, which I don't want to know. I have some faith in what I've learned and know that in life I'll go far. I know that pain will hurt a little and sometimes may leave a scar. But even knowing this, I'm not afraid to take the leap of life. I know that if I get hurt, I am strong and will survive the knife. I know that Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE, United Arab Emirates, couldn't rhyme. I now know how to measure the circumference of an aspen tree. All of these lessons I will take with me when I move on from here, and with me I will take the knowledge that a friend will still be near. Upon occasions I will make mistakes and sometimes cause some spite, but in the end I think I've learned that Patty doesn't really bite. Well, not hard anyway. We'd like to thank our teachers for the help which they have given us. Our knowledge has surpassed that of both Virgil and Theocritus. I am the very model of a modern Logan graduate. I've grown so much and come so far from Lisa's class to Patty's class. In short of matters I will learn in high school or will never get. I am the very model of a modern Logan graduate. Thank you.
This year will be the ending of my second year at Logan. I can still remember, only 3 years ago, struggling to find a better school to go to. Then I found Logan. When I first visited Logan, you wouldn't believe how different it seemed in comparison to the way that all the other schools that I've been to were like. The time that I have spent here has been greatly beneficial to me in most every way, whether it be academically or socially. I really want to thank my little buddies, Jake and Marcus, for showing me that you don't have to be or look like an 8-year-old to act like one. Thank you to Linda for convincing me that a chocolate candy can cure any pain. Eric, thank you for showing me that math isn't the worst subject in school. All my friends and peers for cheering me up when I wasn't feeling too well. I'd like to thank my mom for constantly nagging me to get my homework done before Sunday at 1:30 in the morning. And finally, Linda for teaching me the things that I will need to know for my following year in high school. Thank you, everyone.
Daniel Ashkenazi.
All right. Well, this speech is not going to be your normal continuation speech. No, this speech was written not a week before, not 3 days before, but this speech was written last night at around 10 o'clock. I came to this school 9 years ago in search of, well, I don't know really what I was in search of, but I still came here nonetheless. I quickly developed some skills, such as how to build with blocks, and that you should not draw on your hands, and then most importantly, you should never get in trouble. Now I'm in 8th grade, and well, I've gotten to know the people who work here pretty well. But there are 2 guys that I just really have to thank, because, well, I think nobody realizes how much work they do every week to make our school healthy and look nice. Yes, I'm talking about Ted and John. Ted and John are here. Ted and John are here at school from when we get out to when we're about ready to go to sleep. They sacrifice their own nights so that we can have a fruitful day the next morning. Yes, that's right. I bet a lot of you don't know that when we are having a spring break, they are here near every day cleaning and fixing things. So I think next time you see Ted or John, you need to say thanks, dude, or you're doing an awesome job. And don't forget Glenn, who, if something's broken, he will fix it. And thanks, Glenn, for letting me use the tools in your shop sometimes. Well, it's now about that time in my speech where I need to thank everybody. Thanks Len and Charlie Jackson, who have helped me develop my carpentry skills and truly showed me that stagecraft is really hard work. All my teachers who have put up with the great procrastinator, me. Thanks to all the assistants that I've complained to, especially Sarah, who is really the coolest of them all. Thanks to Joel for getting me through math. Thanks to Delinda for having all the candy whenever I wanted. And thanks to all my buddies, especially Zoe, because she's pretty darn cool. Well, that just about wraps it up, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Megan McGregor. You'll get nervous.
When I arrived at Logan in 6th grade, I was one of only 3 people to do so that year. I leave as one of over 20 continuees. When I arrived, I was immediately and continually amazed by how friendly and accepting people were, kids and teachers alike. I now take that for granted. At that time, I was astounded at the way some of these people had been together for 6 or more years, yet they were still willing, even eager to form new and lasting friendships. Now I'm one of them. When I came, I was nervous, not to say scared stiff. I leave with the ability to confidently squeak when poked in the ribs or surprised, and to hassle high school counselors until they give in from sheer exhaustion. In 3 short years here, I've made some of the best friends I've ever had, some of whom I may know for years and years, and some of whom I may soon lose touch with. Either way, each person in the school has made a lasting impression on me, and I thank you for that. Thank you, Lane, my buddy for 2 years, and thank you, Sophia, my buddy for 1. Thanks to all of my carpools, driving here almost but not quite from Kansas. Thanks to all of the parental units, siblings, matrix teachers, and trip coordinators. You've helped me pursue interests I never knew I had, as well as follow up on the ones I was already aware of. Also, thanks to Jamie, David, Eric, Lisa Lucero, and Sarah Baum. But mostly thanks to Patty. You've pushed me in what I thought was close to every way possible, from not being a perfectionist in every piece of work to attempting 50 sit-ups in a minute. There's something to learn about in every subject there is. Although Logan may not have taught me in every single one of them, it sure taught a lot, including how to figure it out if I don't know. I've learned how the Mayans came up with the concept of zero, how to perform mostly harmless anger management, how to finish my agenda before Sunday night, how to make eye contact, how sea monkeys reproduce, how not to zero escape, and how to use reverse psychology. But I've also learned things about friendship, about acceptance, and about adaptation. I've learned things that may have taken me a lifetime to figure out otherwise. Although Logan has probably been compared to hundreds more inanimate objects than completely necessary, I could not resist the temptation to add just one more. Our community is like a giant spider web in which each one of us can play anything from the spider to a drop of dew. This is one spider web I don't mind having been caught in. In fact, it's been great. Without help from each and every one of you, given consciously or subconsciously, willingly or unwillingly, I would not have been sculpted in the way I am now, ready for the rest of my life and prepared to enjoy it.
Natalie Rosen.
Hello, everybody. I will be as brief as I can since those of you who aren't in a stupor already are getting there. So I present to you the 40-second speech. Thank you to all of my teachers, Eric, my assistant teachers, my matrix teachers, especially Lisa Lucero, who had to deal with me the most often, my parents and sister, whom I pity, and my buddies, Jacqueline, Margot, and Connor. And of course, thanks so much to all of my wonderful friends. You've all enhanced my Logan experience and helped me to learn and develop. I'll miss the excellent Logan trips and the self-directed learning that I could not have done anywhere else. But I realize that I have to leave this school in order for the next generation of Loganites to take their place in the Logan community and to eventually have their banners up on the wall. So goodbye to all of you. And now, for those of you who fell asleep, I give the abbreviated version, the soundbite. Thanks to everyone. I'm out of here.
Emery Donovan.
After
all of the continuation ceremonies I've ever attended, I've always gone home inspired to write my own speech for that far-off day when I would be up at the podium, addressing the entire school with my parting words. It seems that day has come in the blink of an eye. I can still vividly remember sitting on the floor in the multi-purpose room, gazing up at the larger-than-life 8th graders, wondering if the day would ever come when I would be up there speaking. All of the people at Logan have helped make my time here wonderful, so please bear with me while I thank some of them. I promise you that when you get up here, you will have lots of people to thank too. Firstly, thank you to all of my buddies, Mackenzie, Zoe, Abby, Stephen, and Sophia. Abby, thank you for your fun-loving nature. Zoe, thank you for your curiosity. Sophia, thank you for your incredible spirit, creativity, and enthusiasm. It's been a wonderful 2 years with you as my buddy. Thank you to David for his love and devotion to his students and to acting. You took us from playing Poop Deck and Toy Store to performing the AS play. Your warmth, smiles, and humor made drama so much fun, a highlight of my years at Logan. Delinda, thank you for all of your chocolates, love, and good cheer. Thank you to Conchita for the fun-filled Spanish mornings. Que divertido. Joel, thank you for your enthusiasm and energy. Although I still don't like math, I've learned a lot. Thank you to all of my teachers. Nancy, you are truly incredible. You took me as I was and accepted that and helped me to grow. Thank you for all you have done for me. Lisa, thank you for letting me explore my interests. My year in your class was a wonderful one, and you helped me in so many ways. Kate, there are so many wonderful memories I have from your class. Thank you for everything. Angela, you challenged me and helped me dare to discover my potential. Thank you for your belief in me and for always pushing me higher. Jamie, I have many fond memories from my time in your class. I learned so much. Linda, thank you for everything you've done for me in the past 3 years. You've helped me grow even more and learn to take risks. You supported me in all of my endeavors, and for that, I thank you. Sarah, thank you for being one of the coolest assistants ever. Thank you to my family. You supported me through everything. As a former alumni once said, you've supported me emotionally, physically, and financially. Thank you to all of my friends. We have laughed and cried together, and you are the people who have gotten me through the tough times. I'm so lucky to have you. I would also like to thank my carpool. Mikey, baby, it's been wonderful, and I will miss our time together. Thank you to everyone at Logan. This place has been a home to me for the past 9 years and has helped me blossom into who I am today. My boat is sailing into the wider ocean, buoyed up by the love and support of the Logan community, and I feel ready to face the great beyond. Thank you.
All right. Brandon, step in.
Over the last 8 years, I have been molded by the Logan School. It has helped me to grow in many ways, and it has also been an enjoyable experience. I can't really say I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for several people, but I would have enjoyed the route a lot less. Of them, I'd like to thank everyone that's taught me something here, whether it was their job or not. You know who you are, and you're in too many to mention. I'd like to thank my buddies Helen, Luke, James, Carrie, Sam, Nico, Liam, Jade, and Emily for helping me learn. I'd like to thank my family for being my family, and my friends for being like a family. I have most likely spent more time at Logan than I will have at any other place than home, and it's hard to do, and it's had to do with more things than anywhere, period. Leaving will be hard, and I will hope that my future will be as kind as Logan, although the often mentioned real world rarely is. Now that I'm done with that, I'd like to say something else. To be honest, I've never really liked continuation that much. I've often been squirming like I know many of you are doing right now. It helps really keep on doing it. Leaving, it's harder to enjoy it if you don't know the people well, so I speak to all of you in the audience. First of all, anyone that's traveled from out of town or just, from out of the school, thank you. It's good to, a lot of you have sat through speeches by people you don't know at all, so good job. And everyone that's leaving this year, congratulations. Well, not congratulations, but well done. People often have the idea that Logan works for everybody. It doesn't, and to everyone that it hasn't worked, you know, it doesn't, it just doesn't always work. And so it takes more courage than I've often felt to leave a school that's been my home, especially after many years here. I salute you. And for those that stay, make the most of your time at Logan. Again, I can't say that several years ago feels like yesterday. To me, it feels like several years ago. But that only makes me want it that much more. I look forward to the future too, but odds are that no matter how much I like it, I'll be looking back to today as the golden age for me. You never know how many chances you get, so make the most of your best days before they're gone. Goodbye.
Drew Doty.
All right, hello everybody. I would first like to thank my parents for both financially and emotionally supporting me. I would also like to thank all the rest of my family, anybody who's taught me anything, all my big and little buddies, my friends, and finally, my true savior, the library couch. All right, peace out everybody.
Carlo Davis.
Well, it's been a long time coming, and having experienced the ceremony 8 other times, I'll try to keep it short. Logan has been my school and home away from home for 9 years. It has taught me much of what I know about dinosaurs, multiplication, time management, and so much else. I've had 6 core teachers, each serving a task equal of praise. This aside, I've got a few people to recognize. Of course, I'd like to thank my family, who I know I can go to if I ever need moral support, an argument, or money. I want to thank my friends, of which I have so many, especially the party desk. Thanks to Ted, John, and Glenn. I know everybody's already talked to them before, but they truly are the forgotten heroes of Logan. Delinda, you meant so much more to me than small pieces of chocolate ever could. Sarah, you were great too, even though you smell like pea soup. It's an inside joke. Len and Charlie, you gave me a love for power tools that can never fade. Eric, thanks for the long hours and bad jokes, and I'm sorry I still don't understand how algebra will help me in real life. Many thanks to my big and little buddies, Taylor, Adam, Lily, Jeffrey, Stephen, Aaron, Clark, all who taught me or forced me to teach them valuable life lessons. And I'd just like to say, looking back on all the ups and downs, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Thank you.
Paul Emrich.
I know I promised my father that I would not say wow at the beginning of my speech, but wow. I've had so many teachers in my 9 years at Logan. Nancy, Lisa, Angela, Jamie, and Patty, as well as many different assistants who I've been trying to remember with the last couple weeks. Michelle, Sharon, Sarah, Raina, Monty, Jeff, and John. I've had lots of different matrix teachers as well. David, Joel, Eric, Lisa, Adrian, Justine, Len, Charlie, etc. I know I may have missed one of you, but I don't have that much time to speak. Joel and Eric, about math, I still don't believe in anything you've said. I'm still waiting for Joel to prove to me that ASA and SAA are correct. For all my buddies, Sarah, Adam Brock, Bobby, Mikey Talley, Gabriel Sun, and, of course, Amy Marks. You've been great. I would also like to thank all of my friends who I've had, after coming out of Patty's office innumerable times, have come up to me and asked, "So what did you do this time?" I would like to thank my parents, Kathy and Gary, as well as my mom. This one was for you.
Jordy Gonzalez.
It has been 4 years since my first day of school at Logan. I came here going by Jordan and was such a polite and innocent youth, with well-kept hair and friends with respectable-sounding names like Andrew and Stanley. Now I am often referred to as Jorge, and can't honestly say I'm quite so innocent. My hair is starting to resemble Ringo Starr's from back in the good old days, and my friends have nicknames ranging from Squeak, or Squeal depending on his mood, to some that can't be mentioned in a family-friendly continuation such as this. Before you all panic and take your children to another school, I'd like it to also be known that Logan has been quite an enjoyable experience for me. I learned many things that can be usefully applied in later life, ranging from academic skills to me growing as a person. I have also learned some thoroughly useless but interesting facts, such as the longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds. Thanks to Logan, I will have many enjoyable memories to think back upon in old age, when reruns of The Simpsons and King of the Hill are on. Not the least of which will be the math revenge days. There's nothing quite like putting a handful of shaving cream in your math teacher's face. I doubt I could have had the field trip experience I've had here at any other school, especially visiting Costa Rica in my 6th grade year. Well, that about sums up my time here, and before this good-looking fellow makes his exit, he'd like to thank those that made him the excellent guy he is today. You all know who you are, so instead of taking up mass amounts of time, I'll let you all give yourselves a pat on the back instead. Having made my thank yous, I now bid you farewell and hope my high school experience is enjoyable as this has been.
And I really am the end. And as always, it's very difficult to end the continuation speech because everybody said all the good stuff. Yet it's my job. So I've had an interesting year this year. Luckily, I've come through a lot of personal challenges with my sight intact. I can see, literally, and what a gift. Sight one often takes for granted this. But on the path towards restored vision, I've gotten to see a great deal. I've gotten to see this wonderful and generous community that we have here at Logan, and what loving and caring students the continuing class of 2004 really is. This year, I got to see you students work hard and play hard. And I got to see you try lots of new things. I saw you keeping your minds open and your hearts open too. You looked for truth and goodness, and even when the world wasn't offering much of it to see. You used your keen minds to look for reasons for the unreasonable and to look for justice for all situations. You tried to see the other side of the story, even when that was a difficult task. You traveled together and observed life from another time period and from a different perspective. I saw each of you reach out together to do your best work, reach out to others, offer your support, and be very kind. You worked alone and you worked together. You laughed a lot and sometimes you cried. I love that I can see with my eyes, and I love the world that we see. It's a beautiful place. I love even more that I can see with my heart, for you are beautiful young people. You are ready to continue on from Logan into high school and on to new adventures. Look around you, there is so much for you to see. Take notice, make a difference, be all you can be, and know we love you. And we will greet greet our graduates as soon as the primary students are excused, which is now.